Alright everybody, it is August 3rd. Let's take a quick look around the August garden in Florida. Normally you're not going to see very much stuff happening in Florida in August in the garden. But, as you see, my yellow gooseberries, I'm still getting some tomatoes. So, that's pretty cool. All my pepper plants I've taken out, except the mighty poblano. He is still producing, so what an amazing pepper plant this year. But these I have just been adding compost to and letting them sit. They'll sit until I'm ready to replant. Yeah, so that's what I'm going to start worrying about this next month. I'm going to put compost in all of these. I'm going to clean them out, except the stuff that's still growing. I mean, I still have Korean dark greens. You see the red in there. I still got peppers coming in there. Quite a few, both plants. A lot of peppers, so... Wow, you okay, Bubba? Are you okay?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I want to see.
You want to see what?
I want to see.
See, there's a poblano. There's the peppers.
And the plant.
Alright, let's keep going. So the volunteer tomato plant I took out. Again, filled this with compost, grass clippings. Not done compost. I'm going to let it compost in there, attract the worms, the beneficial insects into these beds before they get planted. My onions aren't doing really that great, just the heat I think. And I didn't plant them at the right time, I just tried it. Most of this is weeds in here, except the dill. So I'll take everything out that doesn't apply. The jalapeno plants are just hanging out, so if they start growing, we'll keep them obviously. But everything else I'm just going to load up with compost. Same in here. All around here I need to weed it. All of this is just weeds. Get compost packed in this. Get them ready for probably end of September, October. We'll start planting the fall garden. My watermelon plant, it's blowing up a little. Got one melon there. And I have another one right there that I think is about done. I think it's about done. I'll probably harvest it this weekend. Was flowering. I don't really see too many more watermelons on there at the moment, but got two at least. One thing that will thrive pretty good in July, August around South Florida is sweet potatoes. This is the one my neighbor's kid brought me over, that I had him stick the potato in the water and grow the sprouts and then break the sprouts off. That's one sweet potato just vining out, doing really well right there. So on that potato plant he had more, so we just recently planted these sweet potato sprouts from that same potato, and they are looking great. On the side of the house where I do my compost, I just got some of those flowers that we planted. Some of them are thriving in those little squares in the cinder blocks, so I'm just letting them roll. Attract pollinators. I'll have to trim that one down a little obviously, but that one's going. The little white ones are going. Yeah, the purple one back there. Tyler's going.
I can pick that one.
Nice mound of compost there. Pretty much done. And a fresh one. So we're moving along in the compost. We're going to just, like I said, load up these beds and wait until end of September, October to start planting again. And I still have these 3 massive Hoshido bunching onions. I was wanting them to flower and drop seeds and just continue this as a perennial bed. I did add some seeds back to it, so we'll see what happens. But hopefully, maybe in the fall they'll flower and then produce some seeds for me. Dun dun dun! Hi, Bubba. What are you doing? Did you have a good day at school?
Yeah.
You saw Ara?
I just saw Ira.
Yeah. Did you go potty?
Yeah.
Good job. Another tomato plant I forgot to show you, the Boxcar Willie, has a couple of ripe ones on it. Like I said, they're not fruiting up a storm, but they're looking pretty good for this time of year. We'll get another harvest out of them as it cools down later on, probably September. So you just kind of try and keep them alive right now. Oh, and as I was just sitting here, look at what I just saw. Another watermelon. Awesome. See if it hangs off that fence good enough. That would be cool. And my other yellow gooseberry over by the house that we moved earlier in the season. Again, still alive. All of my tomatoes are getting splits. There you go. They're all getting splits in them. We've been having afternoon rains every afternoon, so you get too much water going into these plants and it puts it into the tomatoes, and the skin doesn't have enough time to expand with all the water, so it causes splits. What I normally do is just take them off when I see them and eat them right then and there. Be done with them. They're still edible. Might not look as pretty, but they're edible. Another plant that came back, it was totally dead, is this lemon balm. All of a sudden it just popped back alive. I was like, oh, cool. So that's pretty nice. I'm glad I have that. My strawberries are just kind of dormant at the moment. Not really doing much. I'm going to put some more compost in there for them. And the same with my blackberry bush. It didn't really produce very many blackberries this year. So maybe it'll do another production as it cools down also. There's barely any leaves on my purple jalapeno plant, but it's still producing jalapenos. So between that and the poblano, those two are just rock stars. Were rock stars for the whole time of their life. I mean, these plants have been alive since last July I planted them. So over a year old. Another plant, or should I say tree, that is really starting to blow up is this. I planted a little lime seed. I'm pretty positive it was a lime. It was either a lime or a lemon. But I think it's a lime because with all of these thorns this thing has, you see all the thorns on it? But I was eating one day, or I took a bite of one when I was maybe having a Corona or a Dos Equis or something. And it just tasted so good, so I grabbed the seeds out of it, planted it in a pot in my house. I don't even remember when. Left it alone, forgot about it. One day I see this little piece of plant coming out of the pot up on my bookcase. Took it down, started watering it. It's been outside all summer, and I mean, you see where the lighter leaves are, that's the old growth. All of this is new growth. I mean, within the last month or something, it has just been blowing up. So there's my little lime tree that I just planted from a seed. And in the orchid rack, look at these beauties. Beautiful, beautiful purple orchids. I love all my orchids because they all bloom at different times. So throughout the year I always have some. In the cool season, in the hot, they all have different bloom times. I even have another pod back there. Bulbs getting ready to pop, so there's a lot of flowers on here. Really cool, real pretty. And again, the banana plants are, these two right here are just going nuts. Another leaf coming out of that one. And another, they don't stop. Another leaf right there, that tight little cylinder right there. These two are loving it where I put them. This one starting to do really well, starting to get more leaves now, getting bigger. The one that died over here has a little pup starting to come out. So that one I think will be really well established once it gets going. So the banana plant's so far doing amazing. Gotta love it. And my wild bamboo, remember I found bamboo growing? Look at it. Taller than me, which ain't hard. I'm only like 5'5", so that's probably about 6.5 foot. And I've always wanted bamboo, and I peeled off the outer layer and you can see the authentic bamboo look. It's great. I am so happy that that's growing here. And it has it could just grow right up this tree, man. All the way up into there. I mean, there's nothing to block it, so I'm loving that. I'll just keep it contained to right in that area, and that's going to be just a beautiful wild part of my yard. I'm loving that. And of course all the babies are doing good. Hanging out. They love that little roost area. Alright, so there's a look at my August garden. Again, not much really grows in the traditional vegetable garden here in southern Florida. Zone 9, almost 10 in August. So, except your sweet potatoes. Again, I have a couple of tomato plants hanging on. I'll just keep them growing. Once it cools down a little, they'll bounce right back and give me more tomatoes for sure. So right now, in South Florida, right now the time is now. Put your compost on your beds. Clean your beds, compost them, work it into the soil. You cannot put enough, especially in the sandy areas. Make sure you pack the compost in. So that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to have I have to cut my grass again this weekend. Every weekend I have to cut. So we're cutting grass. We are trying to make as much compost. Now I have the hay going out there in the chicken coop, so I got straw, I should say. I got straw and chicken poop producing right now. So eventually that'll be compost for next year, next season. So that's what I'm doing, just getting that compost going, and we'll plant again. I say September, October, it just depends on the weather around here. It could be mid-September, and I really should be getting I should have had transplants going in July. You know, what tomato plant I want to replant next month. Get the cucumbers going. You know, hey, I could still do it right now. I know you're supposed to do it like mid-July to have it out there by mid-August, but I don't want to be out by mid-August. I'm thinking more September. So that's going to be maybe the next video. We'll figure out what I have as far as seeds, what we can get going in the indoors, and we'll roll through that. So anyway, just a quick little video of my August garden. It's hanging on a little here and there. The sweet potatoes are looking awesome. So we'll talk to you guys later. Y'all have a good night.